What's good? What's good, homies? What's good? What's good? It's your man King Ray Ray. Welcome back to another episode of the King Ray Ray Show, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's change the thing. From now on, man, we'll call this thing the Educated Thug Podcast. Salute to you, man. Thug slash nerd, nerd slash thug. Whatever we gonna do with it. Salute, man. I appreciate y'all being in the building, man. Let's go ahead and get ready to do this thing. GLG, I see y'all in the building. Let's get the people a few minutes to get in here, man. Maybe another 2.5 minutes. We're going live at 5, so be along for the ride, man. Roy T, what's good with you, man? Markel, what's good, young homie? Aaron Rodriguez, what's good with you, man? GC, what's good, my brother? Good to see you in the joint, man. Just Quan, I see you in the building, man. I see Just Quan in the building. Hold up. Am I on the wrong mic again, man? All right, there we go. There we go. My bad. My bad. My bad. Man, listen. I don't know why it's just all of a sudden start linking into my joint. So I just got to start double checking. Before I just got comfortable. I was just able to cut it on. It was still on. Now I have to actually add my camera suddenly, man. I probably need to do a firmware update on the Mixcast 4, man. I'm gonna search for a firmware update for the Mixcast 4. Yeah, that's all it was, man. I appreciate y'all pointing it out. Appreciate y'all pointing it out, man. GC, what's good, man? What's good? Markel, what up, young homie? Spoon, what up? What up? GC, salute my brother. Adrian Rodriguez, salute AD, salute, man. Royalty, what up, homie? I see keep tapping in the building, man. Underground Gold, King Will, 6Gs, Just Quan, what up? Represent Columbia. Sceneplex Reviews, what up, man? Vendetta Advantage. B Hayes, what up, man? D Will, what up? Dr. Frizzle Frost, what up with you, man? SJ3, my brother, salute to your Mod Squad representative, man. OG homie of mine, man. The brother SJ3. All right, man. So today's topic. Don't become this type of person by being around these types of people. Stay away from them. Avoid them, man. Avoid them. Appreciate you checking in, SJ. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So we're going to pull the same number we did on the BOA channel today. We're going to leave it open for subscribers today. If you're a subscriber, you'll be welcome to stay in the chat. If not, you can't just go become a subscriber all of a sudden. All right, got your subscribers only, man. Subscribers only. All right, so let's get into it. All right. First of all, we got to understand this. Being connected to negative people automatically makes you a negative person. You can't be a positive person and you got negative friends. You can't be a righteous person, you got unrighteous friends. You can't be a law-abiding citizen and all your friends are criminals. You know what I'm saying? You can't do these things. So stop telling yourself that you could be in the midst of negative people all the time and still be positive. Stop telling yourself you could be in the presence of unrighteous men, wicked men all the time and still be righteous. You can't do it. Righteousness is an environmental blessing. Positivity is an environmental blessing, meaning your environment has to be positive in order for you to be positive. You can't be the one positive thing in a heap of negativity. It doesn't work that way. When there's a heap of negativity, it's a heap of negativity because everything in the heap is negative. So you're automatically going to start to become, and I'm not saying you're automatically going to change overnight, but at some point you're going to start embodying some of those characteristics that you see around those people, because in that environment where you're around them, then it works. Whatever they are works in that environment. In a certain environment, you can be ready to pull out your iron and just let something fly. In other environments, that doesn't work. You're going to jail. Anybody who knows anything is telling. There is no snitching rule in those environments. So we have to keep in mind that that's the first thing to understand. If the people around you are negative, you got to look at yourself. Don't look at the people. Don't look at the people that you're around by choice now. Now, if you're a kid or you're young, you haven't left home yet, or you're in dire straits financially, you got to be somewhere, that's a different ball game. You can't control that. I mean by choice. We're talking about choices here. We're not talking about, doing this by force. We're talking about doing this by choice. If you're around those types of people by choice, when you have other options, the option of being alone, the option of finding another tribe, the option of when you choose to do that, then you are throwing away your connection to anything positive, because God is not going to let you pull all the positive people that you know into the negative life with you. You have never seen a family all go down the wrong path at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You never seen a family become addicts at the same time. There's nobody left to do an intervention. We all need an intervention. You never seen that happen. It's always that one person, and people go so far with you, and then they pull away and let you take the rest of the journey by yourself, because there are too many dips and bumps and obstacles and pitfalls and all that in the direction you got to go any further than that. Nobody's going to want that in their life if they didn't earn it. And you got to understand this. Stop acting like you don't know when those people are negative. You know when you got negative people around you. Cut it out. You know it. Don't act like you're around negative people. I just didn't know they were negative. I didn't know they was criminals. I was just driving the car. They told me they was going in to get some popsicles. I thought the gunshots were firecrackers. I didn't know. I was just driving the car with my friends. Come on, bruh. That's not how life works. What the things you see clearly, you have to accept them. Now, if you don't see something clearly, you need to seek more understanding. But if you see things clearly, stop acting like you don't see them clearly. Stop clouding your own judgment. Famos, salute. That's not the way to live your life. Your life is never going to be productive if you get in your own way. You know what kind of fool you got to be to have a clear path and you get in your own way. You making decisions to get in your own way. Okay, boy, oh boy, look at this path. Boy, God gave me this clear path. I'm on my way. Oh, I done figured it out. I'm in my zone now, boy. I'm in my mode. I'm on my grind. Oh, look over there. There's something I don't need in my life right now. I could keep going on my path and continue my success, or I can stop over there in that pitfall. Let's see. Well, I'm kind of curious. I don't know what a pitfall feels like. I'm going to go try this pitfall. And now you're over there willingly putting pitfalls in your path. Come on, man. You know that don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to any logical or reasonable and prudent adult. None. So stop wondering if somebody is negatively affecting your life and accept the fact that they are. If you have to wonder, then they are. Period. Positivity is so positive. I've never mistaken positivity for negativity in my life. Ever. I have never looked at positivity and said, boy, woo, why that positivity so negative? Ever. You don't have to guess. Wait a minute. This feels positive, but is it really negative? Man, you don't worry about those things. Positivity is positivity. The energy that it brings into your life, you know. So if you have people around you who are bringing negativity to your life, the energy around you lets you know that as well. This is what you have to do. And you can't be drawn into these people because they need you in their lives. Of course they need you in their lives. Everybody with a negative outlook on life needs someone positive in their life. But it's not your job to go in and try to be people's savior. You got to move away from people who want to sabotage their own lives, people who don't help themselves, people who don't love themselves. As Peter Tosh always says, they don't love themselves, so they can't love no one else. They don't love themselves, so they can't love no one else. They don't love themselves, so they don't appreciate themselves, so they don't help themselves, so they don't support themselves, so they don't believe in themselves, so they don't motivate themselves, so they don't hold themselves accountable. They don't do any of these things. And that's your circle? That's your tribe? That's your tribe. Wait a minute. Hold up. That's your tribe? Oh, no. That ain't your tribe, is it? We have to stop playing games with ourselves. We have to stop believing that there are things that are good for you that come from bad people, that come from bad environments. That God is not going to give you a blessing from a negative environment. God is not going to give you guidance from negative people. It's never going to come. What kind of game do you think he's going to play with you? Avoid those people, but they may give you some positive. No, bruh. What you're going to learn is a hard lesson. Hard lessons come from over there. Hard lessons come from over there. You can learn a lesson before punishment. Punishment is not to help you learn a lesson. Punishment is to show you that you failed to learn a lesson. And just because you punish for it don't mean you're going to learn it. By the time you get to the point where you punish for something, you don't even know what you're being punished for. You're so far down the rabbit hole. So you have to avoid these people, man. Listen, when somebody shows you that their energy is negative, you have to accept that their energy is negative. It doesn't matter if they playing a game, well, that's the wrong game to play. If they faking, you shouldn't have faked that. You should have faked good. Don't play with me. If your energy even appears to be negative, then I'm going to slide right on away from you with ease. It doesn't matter who you are on God's green earth. If your energy towards me or around me is negative, you're gone. Period. And once you're gone, you ain't coming back. See, you gotta make yourself believe that you're the most important thing to you. You got to make yourself believe that your peace is the most important person in your life. I say again, you got to tell yourself that your peace is the most important person in your life. Is peace a person? Yes. Yes. Peace is the Most High. Your connection with the Most High, your spirit man is the conduit between you and the Most High. It's not even, don't even look at it as part of your physical man. Look at it as what governs your physical man from the outside of your physical man. It's your guide, but you have to listen to it. Even your spirit man can't force you to do things. It can just recommend the right thing to do. You have to decide to do it. Your physical mind decides to do it. That's why your mind and spirit have to be connected. Your mind and spirit have to be connected. If they're not, then you're forever going to be on this roller coaster ride in life. You're forever going to be on it. My peace is more important than the value of anyone. There's no one who brings any amount of value into my life where I'll be like, you know what? Woo, that thing that you bring here is so good that, you know what, peace? Get away from here. Bring that drama on into my life. Bring that toxicity onto my life. Bring that foolishness into my life. Bring that wickedness into my house. Bring that energy into my house. Bring that thing into my house that I've never wanted in my house because it's so great that I'm going to sell my peace out for it. I sound crazy, don't I? I know. And if you live that way, you sound crazy too. But not only do you sound crazy, I'm just saying it, you living crazy. You have made the crazy decision to add that to your life to get rid of your peace. Boy, let me tell you something right now. Y'all better remember this when I tell you this. Once you let that peace slide away from you, man, it ain't no guarantee you gonna get it back. There ain't no guarantee that you gonna ever get your peace back. Matter of fact, it's more than likely that you won't get it back. I've had peace one time in my life, and I'm fighting to hold on to it. Sometimes it's diminished over the years, and I had to check myself, reel myself back in, be like, hold up, man. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, just stop everything. Stop everything and turn fully to the Most High. Man, what you slipping on over there? Don't you see the peace slipping away? Man, you got to guard your peace every day of your life, man. There's people coming for your peace. There's people that don't have peace that want yours, not so they can have it, so they can stop you from having it. Because they can't just destroy your peace. You have to allow their energy to attach to yours. And you have to be fooled into believing that you have made a spiritual connection with them. Because you have to open your spirit, man, up to a person. And whatever spirit they harness is going to connect with you because you have opened the door and you have said, come on in. It's like a vampire, an energy vampire and a regular vampire, the same thing. They can't come into your household until you invite them in. You got to invite the energy of vampire in. You got to invite the energy of a person into your life that's going to alter your life tremendously. You got to say, okay, I don't value my life. Come in and wreck shop and do whatever you want to do. You got to do that. That's your thing. You know, the problem is many times you're afraid to be alone. You're afraid to be alone. And if you fear being alone, you fear being in the presence of God alone. You fear connecting with the Most High. You can't even take the vow of Nazarite if you fear being alone. Because if you fear being alone, you don't even believe that God is aligned with you. You don't believe it. You probably don't even believe there is a God. Because when you fear being alone, you believe that there is no God there with you. Because if you understand that there is, how are you ever alone? How are you ever alone? If you understand that even when you by yourself, the Most High is right there with you, do you understand the spirit of the Most High? You're attached to it. It's attached to you as long as you want to be. But if you get to the point in life where you're afraid of being alone, you are so far away from the spirit of the Most High, you know when you have to start relying on people for protection. When you have to start relying on people because of your inability to overcome your fear, you have to start relying on the presence of people, then you are so far away from the presence of God, I don't know if he'll ever come back to you. But for me, for all I know, and what peace of mind is worth, it's always worth a try. If I ever caught myself where I knew God was far away from me, I would try to get him back. I would try to call him back. I would beseech his mercy. I would beseech his loving kindness. I would tear all my clothes off and put some ashes on myself. Say, look here, I know what I have done. But will you please, kind sir, come back close enough for me to connect with you again? And that's why you have to stay out of that situation. Because let me tell y'all something, man. The word says, if a man be righteous and move away from righteousness and start living an evil way, all of his righteousness shall be forgotten. You don't get to be righteous and then say, okay, I'm going to do wrong for these few years right here, but I've done enough righteous where I should be still blessed. That's not how this goes. You got to earn it every day. And that's why I tell you, when it comes to people in your life, they got to earn you every day. All the goodness and all the positivity you bring, they got to earn you every day because you got to earn God's presence every day. This is about earning or returning. If you don't earn it, you must return it or the Most High will burn it. I'm telling you, listen, brothers. Get your mind on protecting yourself. Get your mind on protecting your peace. Get your mind on protecting your well-being. Get your mind on protecting your wealth. Get your mind on protecting your health. Get your mind on protecting your environment. Get your mind on protecting yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Get your mind on self-protection. And you do that by making sure that your immediate environment is a safe space for you. It don't have to be a safe space for nobody else. It has to be a safe space for you first. And anybody who can't find safety in your safe space, they need to find another safe space. There are many people around you who are working for the enemy of your success, man, and they are trying to pull you down off of your focus. They're trying to pull you down off of your focus high horse. See, we don't on a high horse. We ain't cocky. We ain't pompous. We don't think we're above everybody. I'm young. No, we don't think that. I'm the king of the world. I'm pretty. I'm a bad man. No, we don't think like Muhammad Ali. We don't think like that. We just humble men out here trying to do the mission that God put us here to do and receive the blessings that come with that. That's all we are. That's all I am. I'm just a humble man. I'm just a spiritually humble man trying to always have enough spiritual astuteness to stay on the path that God put me here to be on, man, so I can continue to receive the blessings that he has in store for me. That he has in store for me and has bestowed on me. I just want to deserve the blessings. That's all. Once I deserve the blessings, everything else, I don't care about nothing else. And that's what we are. We're just here. We're just men here trying to put ourselves in a position to deserve the blessings that God has for us. Every blessing he has for me in 2024, I want it. Every blessing he has for me in 2025, I want it. Every blessing he has for me in 2026, I want it. Every blessing he has for me all the way until the year 2075, I want it. I'll probably be out of here around 2075, man. Between 2065, 2075, I'll probably be out of here, man. Somewhere around there. So I say this to y'all, man, but that's only if I remember to protect my peace. You understand? Now, when you fear that you're alone, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. You have to be alone in order to cultivate positivity. Because the positivity you want to cultivate is internal. You want to be attached to your spirit, man, so you can know that no matter what happens in this physical realm, there's a deeper version of you that's more valuable than anything that happens in this physical realm. So you can't be changed by the money. You can't be changed by the fame. You can't be changed by recognition. You can't be changed by what's that V word? Validation. You can't be changed by any of those things because there's an internal component to you that is of higher value than anything that you could ever accomplish physically. Anything. Anything. Man, let me tell y'all something right now. It takes a well-made up mind. You know what? You have to be focused to get an education. You have to be focused to create a successful business. You have to be focused to do a bunch of things. And focus requires a certain level of discipline. But when you want to live a life that's pleasing to the Most High, there is nothing on earth that takes more discipline than that. Because you don't have any variables there. So you can go get an education. You can go 1 year, 2 years, decide you don't like that major, change another major, be reinvigorated, no penalty. You understand? As long as those classes transfer, no penalty. You're a junior with a new major. No penalty. You're good. You're a sophomore with a new major. No penalty. You're good. You know what? You do that right there. You don't like that. You finish that junior year. Okay, what if that senior year you could change to another major that's more specific? You know what I'm saying? There's more related to the actual career you want. Okay, senior year, bam, you pop another major. I don't even know if you could still do that in senior year, but hypothetically, you pop another one. There's options. When you decide you're gonna live a life that's pleasing to God, that's either you live it or you don't. Because the more you learn, the less you start being forgiven for the things you already know. You understand? Listen, man, God understands the things that you have that are just issues for you. He know you're working through them. You're going to be working through them for the rest of your life. You're going to work through those. Those are the things that make you the most proud that you can get over, that you can overcome those thoughts, those actions, those ideas, those connections, those people. The fact that you can get over those things, those are the things that make you stronger because you know that it was God who gave you the strength to do those things and you just had to use the strength. They had to do your part now. But when you think about how when you're going to learn something, you know what I'm saying? You can spend your whole life eating pork. And I use that because that's the easiest one. Everybody's familiar with eating pork. They think it's, for the longest time, they thought it was, Muslims who did that. I did for myself for a while when I was younger. So you got to understand, man, but once you see that you're not supposed to eat it, you got to stop. And here's my thing. Once I tell somebody and show them, because, people want you to show them, man, where it say that at? I hit them with the scripture, man, and they be like, man, it does, doesn't it? Does. And then they stop, but they start back. At that point, I got to distance myself from you because you started back doing something you don't have no business doing. I already showed you, God, I don't want you to do it. You understand? I don't care what nobody else tell you. They can't show you now what God said. No, that's wrong. You could do that. They can misconstrue some words, but they can't show you a factual statement that's ever been said in any biblical text anywhere. Anything attributed to the word of God or prophets of God writing where anyone has said it's okay to eat it's okay to eat these things down. No one has ever said that. So I want y'all to understand that simple things like that, like you got it, that's why you got to study the word. You got to know the word. If the word says this is an abomination. Abomination is one of the worst. That's the worst kind of wickedness. That means it's like one of the worst things. Like it is the most toxic thing. It's an abomination. It's not just a sin. It's not wrong. It's an abomination. Boy, an abomination is a thing that needs to be gotten rid of forever. And so if you're going to do that, I got to stay away from you because you've created an abominable environment around yourself. So it goes further than just looking at people's actions out in the world. They're not really a bad person. They don't do all the worst stuff. We don't start at all the worst stuff. We start at the word. We start at the statute. We start at the commandments. That's where we start. You understand what I'm saying? That's where we start. So another thing is you have to understand that when you resist those urges to be around that negative energy, because let's be honest, negative energy, it feels good, sometimes it tastes good, sometimes it smells good, a lot of times it look good, and sometimes it sound good. All of those five senses, that's what that negative energy caters to. It pulls you into it because it's a source of pleasure for you. It's a source of dopamine for you, but it's fake dopamine. It ain't real dopamine. If you're an addict, there ain't a dopamine rush when you get high. That's a chemical compound rush. But to you, you think it's dopamine. It has the same effect. You chase it. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to understand, man, that you have to move out of the way. You have to move so far away from negative people that they don't even try to come around no more. You got to be so far away from them that they don't try to come around and they know you ain't coming. That's just the reality of it, man. And so, and I'm not saying you're gonna be a hermit or you're a recluse and you're just gonna be away from everybody all the time. Man, sometimes I gotta be places, man. Let me tell you something, boy. Sometimes I have an event, man, and I be in a place, man, and let me tell you something, boy. It be a hot set. Let's put it like that. It'd be a hot set, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, let's say the streets be in there sometime. You know what I'm saying? The streets be in there. And I ain't talking about, people walking up and down the street. I'm talking about the true representatives of the street. They be in there. And you know what? Man, I go in there and I do my thing. But that's one of those things like that's not something that I could do every day. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I can do every day. And listen, man, and this ain't no knock on none of my people from the turf, man. They ain't knock on it at all. You understand? I did my time in the saddle for show. You know what I'm saying? Got the scars and the stripes to show for it. But I say this, it's not something you can do every day because there are some people, in that environment who are still stuck and don't know the way out. Like they are just stuck on negativity. That's what they do. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just what they do. So it's not something I can do on a regular basis. But I mean, listen, man, I'm not going to, if I'm invited to an event, dog, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? If I'm invited to an event, I'm showing up. You know what I'm saying? And, by certain people. You know what I'm saying? Certain people in my circle, man, if they got something going on, man, I'm showing up to support 100% of the time. Always showing up to support. And so it don't really be a thing where we got to go to the PJs and that. But when you really plugged in, dope people come out to your events too. The hood come out to your events. Some people who done made it out come out to your events. Some people who still there. Some people who getting enough money to be out, but just don't want to get out yet. It be there. But you got to understand in those situations, you have to still be you. And for me, if things get fired up, man, like, listen, if I'm somewhere, man, the first time somebody get to scrapping in there, man, like, I haven't been anywhere when anybody got to scrapping. If I'm ever somewhere, it's called security about to throw somebody out. Somebody in there trying to cut up, and security got him by the belt strap, man, about to toss him out. And but other than that, bro, I don't really be nowhere like that. But if I was, the first time I showing up scrap, man, and start getting routed, dog, I'm out. Not because I'm scared, but because that's not the environment for me. I don't want to see it. I'm not going to record it. I'm not going to tell nobody about it. I don't know nobody who want to hear about it. You know what I mean? So at that point right there, guys like me, it's time for me to exit, bro. Because I ain't, man, listen, man, I ain't trying to get caught up in nobody cross. I don't want to be questioned by the police about nothing that I saw. Before we get to the point where the police got to ask questions, man, I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to talk to them. And if I ain't there, they ain't going to try to talk to me. You dig? So that's my mindset. So I say this to y'all, man. You got to understand this. When those people no longer seek you out, you got to remember that that's God blessing you, because as long as those negative people are seeking you out, they're bringing trouble with them. Negative people bring trouble with them. That's what they do. Trouble is coming. That's just how it is. Trouble is coming. There's always one person. Even at those events, there's always one person in there acting a fool. Always one person. Always one person security got to put hands on. And so for me, man, I do things that benefit my life. You understand what I'm saying? And so when people come looking for somebody to connect with their evil endeavors, it ain't gonna be me. Is it gonna be you? If somebody want to go do something crazy, I am the lad. There is no one in the world who is finna do something wild and outlandish, and that's probably gonna put them in a bad situation. That's gonna think, let me hit up Doc and see if he want to roll. Nobody on earth is gonna do that. Now, there may be somebody who says, "Hey, look, man, I got an opportunity right here, man. I got a guy, man, who does this and blah blah blah, man. He says he could do this for you, man. Or, man, we want you to come here, man, tell us what your requirements are and blah blah blah." Yes, that's another thing. But if we talking about, man, anything else, bro, ain't nobody finna call me for no foolishness. Cause everybody in my life who would ever call me for foolishness, they can't get in touch with me no more. You know what I'm saying? They've been put on ice. They've been put on permanent ice forever. They've been put on forever ice. Listen, bro, even if I suddenly remember something, well, you tried to cross me, bro, I'm putting you on ice. It could have been 10 years ago. Let me remember. Then you're just gonna be wondering, what happened to me? Because here's the thing. I try to correct mistakes. If I should have been cut you loose, now I don't have these issues no more. I mean, when I was a little bit younger. If I was supposed to have cut you loose, and then I suddenly remember that thing that I should cut you loose about, man, I'm not finna talk to you about it. You know I should have been cut you loose. I'm just finna cut you loose. I'm just finna be gone. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you to try to explain it to me. It shouldn't have to be explained. If it's that type of thing, why should have cut you off? And so that's how I live my life, man. That's how you gotta live your life. That's how you keep negative people from around you. Because just because you let somebody do something crazy to you, man, and then you let it slide and then you let them keep rolling, that don't mean they change their attitude towards you. That just means that the value of having you in their lives is too great that they're not willing to give up an opportunity to keep you in their lives. But if you cut them off like you're supposed to, man, they ain't gonna be miserable. You know what I'm saying? And when I say miserable, I don't mean they're going to be, oh, man, give me another bottle. Let me drink some more. No, I mean they're going to miss your presence in their lives. And you know what? You can't care. You can't care. You can't care. If you don't do what you need to do, then like Famo said, man, they're probably going to see you as a sucker. They're probably going to see you as a sucker. And no matter how nice they are or anything like that, man, they still going to see you as a sucker. And people do whatever they can to keep a sucker around. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like this. If you see a group of guys and one of them getting money, man, and everybody else trying to figure out something to do, there's going to be one guy around, man, that is sitting into the store like a do boy. They're going to send him to get some wraps. They're going to send him to get some blunts. They're going to send him to get some ice. They're going to send him. If a girl need to be dropped off, they're going to send him to drop her off. If something go down, they got to go do something. He going to drive the getaway car. He going to be that guy. Now you got to ask yourself, have you ever been that guy? Because I'm going to be honest with you. People say a lot of things about me, boy. Let me tell you something. I had to learn some things coming up through school, boy. I had to learn some things. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a real live shot, boy, to come from the life I was living and then be thrust into an environment, really, really young, be thrust to a hood environment, man, that I didn't grow up in. You know what I'm saying? Up until that point, man, I didn't grow up in that. And suddenly, there I was. And you know what I had to do? I had to figure it out. There were some bumps and bruises. There were some things I had to learn. That I had to realize, man, that in that environment, you had to be an animal. I wanted to be a human. But then when I realized you can't be a human, I said, okay, what's the animal I want to be? Okay, I'll be a grizzly bear. And so I just became a grizzly bear. You know what grizzly bears are? You hardly ever see them. You got to go to where they are to see them. You're not gonna be out fishing somewhere and see a grizzly bear. There are certain parts of this country, there are certain parts of the world you have to go to see a grizzly bear. You can see black bears all over the United States, but there are certain places you got to go to see grizzly bears. You understand me? There are certain places you got to go to see polar bears. There's only one place in America you're going to go and see polar bears, and that's far deep off in Alaska. You're not going to see polar bears nowhere else. That's it. That's the only spot. No matter how cold it get where you at, no matter how thick the snow gets, you're not gonna see polar bears. Why? Because they're reclusive, and they're not so reclusive as they are secluded. They're too far away to come hang out. I'm like a polar bear, man. I'm too far away to come hang out. You know what I'm saying? But but if y'all come out this way, y'all get a chance to kick it with me. But I'm too far away to hang out, man. And that's how polar bears are. And you rarely see me, but when I pop out, you be like, "Oh my God, look at this beautiful polar bear! Oh, look at the majesty of this grizzly." But hey, don't mess with that grizzly. That grizzly will knock your scalp off your head. Don't get scalped by that grizzly, man. Keep your distance. The grizzly ain't gonna mess with you if you don't mess with the grizzly. The grizzly ain't coming after you. The grizzly ain't finna hunt you. The grizzly ain't coming at you like that. But if you go over there by that grizzly, playing around over there, like just because that grizzly ain't making no noise, he just walking around doing his thing, minding his business. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find him some berries or trying to find him something to eat, cause he just chilling, man, trying to do his thing. Go over there and mess with him. And realize when he stand up on them hind legs, he like 8 feet tall. Then you'll understand what you're dealing with. So there's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm not going to be around those negative people on a regular basis. It never is the goal. But even when it comes to business or anything, you're not just going to be in certain environments because you know that certain environments are going to trigger the grizzly bear in you. I don't want the grizzly bear in me to be triggered. Every time the grizzly bear in me has ever been triggered, I did some man that could have got me some time. I don't want to do that no more. Ever. I don't ever want to be pushed to that ever again in my life. So you got to understand that when you live that life, the people that do have access to you, they cherish that access. They'll do anything to keep that access. So like I tell you, man, if I meet a woman, she want to come visit me, man, she got to fly herself to me. I don't mind if you don't never come, but if you want to come, you got to fly yourself to me. I'll pick you up at the airport, baby. When you pull up at the airport looking good for me, oh, everything gonna be great. We're gonna have an amazing time. But if you don't pull up at the airport, I sure ain't pulling up at yours. You know what I'm saying? I ain't pulling up at yours. If I happen to be traveling out that way, yeah, I'm gonna hit you up. But if you want to see me, you gotta get on that plane, baby. You got to do it. Why? Because it's a privilege for me to allow you in my presence. I don't allow people in my presence. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm the God of the world or anything, but I don't allow people in my environment. I don't allow people in my environment. So it's a blessing to be allowed in my environment. And it's damn sure a blessing for me to come to yours. It's a blessing for me to come to your environment because I just don't come nowhere. It means that I believe that you are connected to God for me to allow you to come into my presence or for me to come into yours. I believe, and with my discernment, I believe that you are. And you know why? Because of the actions you've already taken in your life. If someone hasn't taken any actions to align themselves tighter with God, the actions we know you're supposed to take, man, then I ain't worrying about it. You understand? And the easiest one to take, the easiest one is eating the wrong things. If you eat abominable foods, bro, you can't possibly care about anything else that has anything to do with God because he's not going to connect with you while you got that foulness in your body. It's an abomination. If you eating that abomination every day, you're not going to be able to connect with God. There is no godly person that eats those abominable foods. You can be a religious person, you can be a church person, but there is no godly person who lives their life that way. There's no such thing. Now, and here's the greatest thing about all of this. There are other people around, man, who want to know how to detach themselves from the negative energy and the negative people in their lives. And you can show them that. You can teach them that. Like they can watch you do that, or you could tell your story about that, and you could let people understand how to do it. Let them understand that it's not as tough as you think it is. Let them understand that it seems like it's going to be dark because you're going to be alone. But as soon as you decide that you're going to do it, you're going to realize that the darkness is just a cloud over the sun. You just ain't been moving in life. You know what I mean? You just been staying under that cloud. The sun, that's just a cloud. But you moving with the cloud. As the cloud move, you stay right up under it. The sun trying to move from behind the cloud, but you walking with the cloud, not the sun. And once you stop walking with that cloud and just move over just a little bit, bam, you see the first rays of the sun shining in your life, bro. The first rays of the sun shining in your life. I see somebody say negative energy. Today taught them we gotta get a license for their weapon. Man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I be trying to find places where, where you can just, where you can, I ain't lying, I be trying to find places you can conceal and open carry. There are some states, man, you can conceal carry legally and open carry legally. I mean, you can't do something crazy. You can't be like, you can't be like a felon in possession or nothing like that. But if you're not that, man, you can carry yourself some. You can move a little bit. So I want y'all to understand this, man. When you can be a person who people can look at and rely on to show them, the thing that they need to do in order to overcome the things they need to overcome, that you become a blessing to the world. The same way that God has blessed you, you become a vessel through which God can bless people. And there's no greater gift in the world than to be used as God as a vessel to bless other people, dog. There is no other better feeling. That is it. The greatest gift you can have is that God believes in you enough to bless other people through you. That's a great amount of belief that God has in you, man. So you have to prioritize that. If you don't prioritize nothing else, you have to prioritize that. And the number 10 reason that you must not become this type of person by being around these types of people. Stay away from them. You have to develop the unquenchable thirst to put God first. You know what I'm saying? You have to have an unquenchable thirst to put God first. And you have to keep it with you, man, like a bottle of water. Put God first, drink me a little bit of that. Huh? Do what? Put God first, drink me a little bit of that. Hey, man, come on, roll with us and do this. Huh? Drink God, put God first. I just want to come over, my man ain't home right now, and I just been looking at you and blah, blah. Put God first. Man, come on, man, let's get slurred. Let's put God first. Hey, dog, man, we gonna be in the boat, dog. We just gonna be out there fishing, man. All you gotta do, the only work we gotta do, we just gotta get the boat. We gotta hook the boat back up to a trailer. We get through fishing, man. And we gotta unhook the boat and do all that, dog. That's all you gotta do, man. I unhook the boat. You just drive the truck. Put God first. Well, I thought I could just come over, we can hang out and, we can do that thing. I can do that thing for you like for me to do and blah, 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 blah. I know, but I got to work tomorrow. I got to work on Sunday, so I can come over today. Put God first. It's just got to, this bread here just got a little bit of bacon dripping in it. Not too much. Just a little bit of lard in it, but it ain't too much. Just a smidge of the lard and put God first. That's it, man. That's your goal. Our ultimate goal is put God first, man. Because here's the thing. The key sign that you put God first in your life is peace of mind. Because God's energy is always positive. And so if you surround yourself with God's energy, you have peace because there's always positivity. Whenever there's positivity around you all the time, all you can have is peace. All you can have is peace. And that's the bottom line. That's the main thing that we should be trying to accomplish in life. That's the main thing. And that's to get and maintain peace of mind and refrain from anything that tries to take it away. Anything. Refrain from anything that tries to take it away. Because you got to know what you want your life to look like. And nobody has a life that at the pot at the end of the rainbow, you see a bunch of negative people around the pot. Because if you see the negative people around the pot of gold, then the gold ain't gonna be in the pot no more. It's just gonna be the people. Man, I don't know, dog. It was empty when we got here, big dog. It wasn't nothing in here when we got here, man. I would ask everybody, I said, man, what's the pot at the end of the rainbow? They were like, man, I don't know, man. Where everybody else at? Man, they got sick and had to leave, dog. They had to take the big truck with them, man. So, we gonna have to cancel the whole thing. That we can't even move that pot for you, man. You know what I'm saying? But, we'll be back tomorrow to help you move the pot, man. They ain't coming back because they already got the gold out the pot. You got to understand there's your gold in that pot. You got to get to that gold. Don't worry about how you're going to get it out there. The same way God showed you the pot, He's going to show you how to get it out of there. But if you call the people, if you're relying on the negativity of people because you don't have enough faith in God and a faith in yourself to connect with God and to stay connected with God, then you're going to miss out on many blessings. You're going to miss out on them. And that, my friends, that, my brothers, is how you make sure you don't become this type of person by being around these types of people. Stay away from them. GC, salute, brother. Always good to see you fall through. Famo, man, it's all love, brother. Always good to see you in the joint, man. Always good to see you in the joint. All the other brothers, man, look, I appreciate y'all being in the joint. GLG, Kingdom Array. We out.